Hi, everyone. Today we are going to talk about a, a word which has become quite controversial these days, especially in the tech world in India. And the word is moonlighting. The word moonlighting actually has some very interesting origins. The US origin is where, Cora Stewart, a lady, used to take in literacy classes for impoverished miners in Kentucky, and they could only go and attend this at night when there was the light of the moon, and so moonlight. The Australian version is a little more um, non-complimentary, where it was given to cattle thieves who would operate under the light of the moon, and similarly in Ireland, burglars who would operate under the light of the moon. Now, Rishabh Premji, the CEO, the chairman actually of Wipro, would identify with the Irish and the Australian versions because recently he gave rise to this controversy by calling moonlighting cheating, plain and simple. And about 300 people were fired from Wipro for moonlighting. Other big companies like TCS, Infosys, and few others subscribe to Rishabh Premji's view. Some others didn't. Tech Mahindra, CP Gurnani, the CEO, said that we need to change with the times. Swiggy actually brought out a complete policy on moonlighting. And even Infosys seemed to have a change of heart. But let me give you my view, my unequivocal view. I believe that moonlighting is inevitable and it's an integral component of the future of work. The COVID pandemic, which has slowed down the world but accelerated change, has actually brought the future of work to the present, and kind of moonlighting has come along with it. And so it's already here. Now, why do I say so? Let me give you 5 principles of the future of work and how moonlighting works with each one of them. The future of work is a much hyped term, used, abused. Many of us think it's about working from home, but it's actually a little beyond working from home. And the first principle of the future of work is that work is decentralized. It's about working from anywhere, not only working from home. And so, once this working from anywhere came in, and it especially happened during the COVID pandemic, it allowed people who were not sitting in an office to experiment with other freelancing opportunities, to think of doing other stuff. And the pandemic ended, but this other stuff which still continued. And they still found that they had the time, the energy for additional work, and they needed the money. And so that was one future of work principle which gave rise to moonlighting. The second is this rise of the gig economy, which we know as the Zomatos, the Swiggies, Ubers, Olas of the world. And T.N. Hurry, a columnist at Mint, actually brought out this startling statistic that nearly 40% of Americans were earning around 40% of their income through the gig economy. And basically, what the pandemic did was that it brought up the gig economy from the blue collar to the white collars, people like IT workers. And so, except that here, instead of being called the gig economy, it became called moonlighting. In some sense, Google also started that many years back when it gave its famous 20% principle, where 20% of the time you could do non-Google work. And so the gig economy, another future of work principle, brought in moonlighting. The third facet of the future of work basically is that there's no job for life. And so if that is so, and we are seeing that increasingly, employees want to adopt a portfolio approach, rather than, just single work. And that has kind of also given rise to doing more jobs and therefore moonlighting. The fourth one is interesting. Work from anywhere does sometimes translate into work all the time, because the other principle of future of work is always on work, and that kind of completely defeats work-life balance. The contracts that employers do with employees is, you get a certain salary, you work for me for a certain amount of time, 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. But most of the people, most of us, most of employees end up working much more than the 40 hours a week, and they're not necessarily paid for it. There's unpaid hours, including the commute, are not necessarily counted. And so that is, this work from anywhere also becomes like work for anyone. The fifth principle is perhaps the biggest one of the future of work, and that is about this gig economy or this passion economy, which has come in, and where individuality is monetized, and so you don't necessarily need to belong to an organization to earn money, and that also has been brought in this working for many people. So this concept of one company, many employees is reversing to one employee, many companies, and that is also what is called moonlight. In fact, the Indian IT minister, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, seemed to agree with me. And he said today is the age of employee entrepreneurs. And employers also expect that. Captive models, which are companies, according to him, will fall. The future of work is a community of product builders who will work on multiple projects. I guess Rajiv Chandrasekhar agrees with me. And in many ways, perhaps so does Elon Musk, as he kind of works on multiple companies and is now buying other companies to work for even more companies. And so in my view, moonlighting is inevitable. It's a part of the future of work. I don't know what you think. Well, I guess if you're Rishabh Premji, you do think differently than me. But I would love to know your views, and please do write in as a response to this video. Thanks for watching, and look forward to meeting up next time.